I was drugged by my husband's apprentice, and while I was unconscious, she ruined the couple's tattoo that Lucas and I had gotten for our 5th anniversary. He just stood there and said one sentence, "It's just a tattoo. You're overreacting." Later, he left me alone in the surgery room under anesthesia for 9 hours, and turned around to toast with that girl. I didn't cry. I didn't plead. I froze all of his accounts and took the scar he had created with his own hands onto the stage of an international tattoo competition. When the spotlight hit, I exposed their betrayal in front of everyone, turning this wound into a weapon that sent him from genius artist straight to hell. My name is Evelyn. That day, I walked into my husband Lucas's tattoo studio. He hadn't come home for 2 weeks. Texts went unanswered, calls ignored. Friends said maybe he was busy with a new piece. The studio was quiet. His assistant, Mia, came up to me with a sweet smile. "Evelyn, what a surprise. Lucas is busy right now. Have a seat. Drink some juice." She handed me a glass of orange juice. I drank it. It tasted a little off, but I didn't think much of it. Suddenly, my head spun. My eyelids felt heavy. I slumped over the table and fell asleep. When I woke, my shoulder hurt like fire. I looked up at my reflection in the mirror. On my left shoulder, the spot where Lucas and I had our couple tattoo. A small intertwined LE representing Lucas Evelyn, it was gone. In its place was a new design, a rough, crooked anchor wrapped in a snake. The lines were shaky, the colors uneven, like the work of a careless beginner. I turned sharply. Mia stood right behind me, holding the tattoo gun. She blinked innocently. "Evelyn, you're awake." "Sorry, you fell asleep, and your old tattoo had faded a bit, so I thought I'd practice a little. Fix it up for you." Practice. My skin, my body, the symbol of my love with my husband, turned into her practice canvas. Blood surged to my head. I stood, my voice shaking. How dare you?" I tried to grab her wrist. The door opened. Lucas walked in. He frowned, glanced at my shoulder, then at Mia, and strode over and grabbed my arm. "Evelyn, what are you doing?" His strength yanked me away. "Why are you yelling at Mia? She's just an apprentice." I looked at him, my husband, shielding Mia like she was some precious treasure. "She ruined our tattoo." I pointed to my shoulder, tears welling up. "Look, she destroyed our tattoo." Lucas glanced at my shoulder without moving a muscle. "It's just a design. You can wash it off or cover it." "You're overreacting. You scared Mia." "Evelyn, you're being ridiculous." "Ridiculous." My heart felt pierced by a rusty tattoo needle. "Ridiculous?" I heard my voice tremble. "Lucas, this was our anniversary tattoo. You said it would never change." Lucas didn't speak. He released my arm and patted Mia's back gently. "It's okay. Don't be scared." A tenderness I had never heard from him before. Then he adjusted his collar casually, but I saw it. Under his collarbone, a fresh little tattoo, a fancy M. Mia's M. Lucas. My throat dry. "What is that?" He paused, didn't answer. Mia peeked from behind him, tears glistening. "When did she cry?" Her voice soft and light. "Evelyn, don't blame Lucas. I wanted to practice letter tattoos, and he let me use him. It's really nothing, just a lesson." Practice, lesson. So my shoulder was practice, and his collarbone was lesson. Other apprentices in the studio kept their heads down, avoiding our gaze, but I felt their eyes, sharp as needles, piercing my back. Does a lesson need to be on such a private spot? I stared at Lucas. He finally looked at me, full of impatience. "What are you thinking? Mia is talented. What's wrong with me helping her? Can you stop being paranoid and losing control?" Paranoid, losing control. I remembered 3 months ago, when he asked me to sponsor Mia as an apprentice. He said her family was poor but she had dreams, just like I once did. I softened and agreed. Now, my help had become the reason for their daily closeness. My eyes swept the studio. On the coffee table sat Mia's pink cup, the match to the one I had given Lucas last year. On the sofa, a thin blanket obviously belonging to a girl. Even the screensaver on Lucas's drawing computer, once his alone, was now a sunset photo Mia had posted online last week. When did this place become their home? And I was a stranger walking in. Lucas sighed when I said nothing, his tone softening. Yet his words colder than ever. It's just a tattoo. You're overreacting. Just a tattoo. You're overreacting. One sentence, shattering my 5-year marriage, every ounce of my love and trust. That night, Lucas still didn't come home. I sat in the cold living room, the tattoo burning on my shoulder. That ugly design was a constant reminder: betrayal, humiliation, public disgrace. I had to get answers. The next day, I went straight to the studio. There were more people this time. Like a small gathering, Mia was surrounded by apprentices, her laughter tinkling like silver bells. Lucas stood by the bar, mixing drinks, his profile in the light, the same face that once made me fall in love. I walked straight up to him. Lucas, just the two of us. Answer one question, I said calmly, even surprising myself. Did you and Mia betray me? Did you sleep with her? The music seemed to fade. The studio went silent. Lucas froze mid-pour. He didn't look at me. He didn't speak. Silence. Long, dead silence. That silence was the answer. I nodded. No tears came. My heart felt dead, numb to pain. Evelyn. Mia suddenly rushed over and fell to her knees in front of me. Everyone froze. She looked up, tears streaming, clutching my clothes. Evelyn, it's all my fault. I'm the one who didn't know any better. I admired Lucas and couldn't control my feelings. Please don't blame him. I seduced him. If you want to hit or yell, take it out on me. Please, don't ruin his future. A full-blown self-directed tragedy. Lucas immediately came to pull her up, yelling protectively, Mia, get up. You don't have to do this. Then he turned to glare at me, eyes red, but this time with anger. Evelyn, look at what you're doing. She's just a 20-year-old girl. You already have everything. Why can't you be kind, tolerant? Me, forcing her? Me, destroying someone? Lucas, I asked softly. Who is it that asked me to sponsor her? Who said she was poor, needed a chance? And now, my help is my original sin? Lucas was speechless. Then anger and shame flared. Yes, you helped her. But that's your usual self-righteous attitude, always giving, expecting gratitude? Evelyn, your hypocrisy is worse than outright evil. Hypocrisy. Every penny I spent, every help I gave out of trust and compassion, became evidence of my controlling, condescending personality in their story. The onlookers' expressions shifted, from shock to judgment, some even disgust. Mia, kneeling, glanced at me quickly and subtly, that smile, a venomous flicker. A few days later, Lucas finally came home. He said he wanted to take me to a high-end skincare center owned by a friend. We can remove that ugly tattoo, or I'll personally design something better to cover it. Consider it compensation. His tone was soft, almost pleading. I looked at him. The man I had loved for years now seemed so unfamiliar, yet so familiar. A voice inside screamed, don't trust him. But another, weaker voice whispered, what if he really regrets it? I was exhausted, desperate enough to cling to a straw. I agreed. At the luxurious clinic, they led me into a cold surgery room. The doctor explained local anesthesia and laser removal. Lucas held my hand. Don't be afraid. I'll wait outside. Then he left. The needle pierced my skin. Cold liquid flowed in. My consciousness blurred. In a haze, I heard urgent voices outside. Mia, Lucas. My chest hurt suddenly. I feel so sick, Lucas panicked. What? Don't be afraid. I'm here. Doctor. Where's the doctor? Footsteps. Commotion. My eyelids grew heavier. The last thing I heard was Lucas instructing the nurses hurriedly, I'll step out. Be sure to watch her. Watch her. I plunged into darkness. I don't know how long passed. Maybe an eternity. When I finally woke, I was alone in the surgery room. The lights were blinding. The anesthetic had worn off, and pain shot through my shoulder. The table was hard, the air conditioning biting cold. I pressed the call button. No answer. I shouted. No one came. I had been abandoned. Like a piece of trash no one wanted. Fear crept up. I struggled to get my phone. The screen lit up, 11 p.m. I had been here since 2 p.m., 9 hours alone. Shaking, I opened social media. The first post was from Mia. A photo in an upscale restaurant. She was leaning on Lucas, holding red wine glasses. smiling at the camera. Caption: "Thank you for being there during my most fragile moments." Lucas liked it and commented, "Always here for you. Always here for you." That man, my husband. Cold fury replaced fear. Lava surged through frozen veins. Pain? I didn't feel it anymore. Only one word remained in my heart: hate. I struggled to stand, stumbled out of the clinic, and grabbed a cab home. That night, I ran a high fever. 3 days, 3 nights. On the 4th morning, I woke. The sunlight was harsh, but my mind was clearer than ever, cold, razor sharp, like steel forged in fire. I wiped sweat from my forehead and opened my laptop, logged into my bank accounts, reviewed every joint account, trust fund, and investment portfolio under my name, accessed the encrypted folder my lawyer had sent me, pulling company structures, asset documentation, notarizations. Numbers and files flickered before my eyes. My heartbeat steadied, grew stronger. I realized Lucas's so-called prestigious studio? The property belonged to a trust fund from my father. Lucas only had usage rights. The most expensive German tattoo machines in the studio? Paid from my personal account. The international competition that could elevate him to top tattoo artist status? Sponsored mainly by an overseas company I controlled. The head judge? A lifelong friend of my late mother. Our joint accounts? Most of the funds came from my investments. His earnings were mostly for his own expenses and supporting Mia. I see now. His glamorous career, his fame, his access to capital, it all rested on my foundation. The scepter he held, I had given him. He had just forgotten, or always assumed it was his right. I picked up the phone and called my private banker. "Mr. Zhang, this is Evelyn. Freeze all accounts under my name immediately, including any transfers to Lucas's tattoo studio. Now." "Yes, Ms. Evelyn." Immediately. Then I called my lawyer, Attorney Lee. "Draft divorce papers." My demand: he walks away with nothing. If he refuses, I looked at the bright sky outside and spoke slowly, clearly. "We'll see you in court." I want him to leave without a single needle. I hung up. The pain in my shoulder was still there, but it was no longer a mark of shame. It was my battle flag. From today, I make the rules. An hour after issuing the freeze orders, my phone blew up. Dozens of missed calls, all from Lucas. Messages poured in like a flood. "Evelyn, what do you mean? The accounts are frozen. The studio needs to pay suppliers and rent. Answer the phone. We need to talk. Why are you doing this? Can't we discuss like adults? Is this because of Mia? I swear, there's nothing between us. That day she had a heart problem. I couldn't just watch her die." I read them all. My heart was calm. I even felt a little amused. Heart problem? She was kneeling, scheming, plotting against me, and had all the energy in the world. I didn't reply to a single message, until the last one. His tone dripping with naked threat. "Evelyn, don't push me. You know people in my circle. Make me angry, and I'll make sure you don't come out unscathed. Think about your reputation." Almost simultaneously, another message from an unknown number appeared. I knew exactly who it was. "Evelyn, thanks for giving Lucas to me. You're old now, it's your turn to step aside. You lost." Attached was a photo, Mia in my silk nightgown, bought last year in Italy, lying in the bed Lucas and I shared. I inhaled slowly. No anger, only cold exhilaration. I pressed the record button on my phone. Then, for the first time, I called Lucas. The line connected instantly. He barked in panic. "Evelyn, what do you want?" "I want nothing," I said calmly. "Lucas, we're getting a divorce." He froze, then erupted. "Divorce? Over this? Are you crazy?" "I don't agree." I said I don't agree. "So don't think you can. I'll drag you down with me. I'll tell the media it's your infidelity, your greed, your controlling nature that drove me away. Let's see who people believe." His voice twisted and monstrous. Gone was the gentle man I had loved. I listened quietly to every threat, every curse, every so-called card he played. Then I said softly, "You'll get what you earned." I hung up, saving the recording. No need to explain. No need to beg anyone's love or approval. The chessboard was set. It was my move. The storm arrived faster than expected. The next day, a well-known local gossip blogger published a long post, titled, "The Fall of Tattoo Prodigy Lucas?" Allegations of overbearing wife's years of control and suppression. The article painted Lucas as a misunderstood artist, bound by his wealthy wife, deprived of creative freedom. The wife, unidentified, but obviously me, was described as possessive, controlling, even surveilling him. It coincidentally mentioned a talented young female apprentice, Mia, whose true love was allegedly blocked by the jealous wife, who had withdrawn financial support and threatened the girl's future. The post went viral. Industry insiders attacked Capital, destroying art, sympathizing with Lucas and Mia. My social accounts were flooded with insults. Old hag. Let him go. Don't ruin genius. Money can't buy an artist's soul. Support Lucas. Mia. True love is innocent. I smiled. So this was their media strategy. Lucas called again. Tone softer. Evelyn, look. This is bad for both of us. We're still married. Restore the funds. Support me in the competition. If I win, I won't need you anymore. We can separate peacefully, agreeable terms. Okay? Listen, a reasonable sounding plan to make me the scapegoat, funding him and his mistress's rise, then tossing me a crumb. Impossible, I said in 3 words. His mask tore apart instantly. Evelyn, don't push me. I have your things. Remember last summer at the villa, I recorded some private videos. Want the world to see? My blood ran cold. That was a moment when I had let my guard down. He could do this? But soon, cold fear turned to burning anger. Try it, I said, ice in my voice. Post every second, and I guarantee you'll lose 10,000 times more than you gain. He slammed the phone. They wouldn't stop. And they didn't. The day of the preliminary round of the international tattoo competition arrived. This contest was crucial. Many up-and-coming artists sought recognition. Another young tattoo artist I had invested in, Noah, was competing. His work required a live model, and he had requested me a month ago. My shoulder and skin were perfect for his design. I agreed. That morning, Noah messaged frantically, Evelyn, where are you? 2 hours to start. The model must be in position. I froze. I was about to leave. Then the doorbell rang. A courier arrived with important documents requiring my signature. In the process, ink spilled on my clothes, forcing me to go change. Just after changing, the fire alarm screamed. The whole building evacuated. By the time it was confirmed false, I returned to my apartment, only to find my door locked, glued shut. Everything coincidentally blocked me from reaching the competition. Noah couldn't start without a model. Lucas and Mia were direct competitors. I panicked. Called a locksmith, an hour at least. Tried the emergency exit, blocked from outside. Even phone signal faltered. I was trapped. 20 floors up. Window sealed. Physically confined. Unable to act. Then I spotted a box of childhood tools from my father. A small claw hammer. I ran to the fire door. Hammered at the metal bar wedged in place. Hands bleeding. Body shaking. Bang! 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 The bar loosened. One last push. Click. The door opened. Sweat-drenched. Bloodied hands clutching my bag and keys. I raced down 20 floors. I had to get to the competition. When I burst into the competition hall, the preliminary showcase was already underway. Backstage, chaos reigned. Noah looked pale as staff told him if the model didn't arrive within 30 seconds, his entry would be disqualified. I'm here, I gasped. Noah's eyes lit up, then widened at my disheveled appearance and bleeding hands. Evelyn, your hands, don't worry. Just tell me what to do. We had only seconds. Noah helped me into the sheer gown designed for his piece, cleverly exposing my entire shoulder and back. From the stage, the announcer introduced the next competitors. Next, the highly anticipated collaboration of Master Lucas and his muse, Ms. Mia. Applause and whistles rang out. Lucas and Mia stepped onto the stage. Radiant. Noah, are you sure I can do this? My shoulder, he whispered. I looked at the mirror backstage. The ugly, crooked anchor and snake tattoo, swollen, red, grotesque from prior trauma and sweat, was impossible to hide. But now, I didn't want to hide it. Noah. I turned my back to him, calm and steady. Your original design, it was meant to cover it, right? Yes, that pattern was, don't cover it. I interrupted. Voice clear, resolute. Make it part of your design. Show the world the damage, the betrayal I suffered. Noah paused. Then his eyes sharpened, bright with understanding. Got it. Backstage, Lucas and Mia's work had been displayed, receiving polite praise. They stood on stage, confident smiles in place. It was Noah's turn. The host called his name. Lights hit the entrance. I inhaled, straightened my spine, and stepped into the bright spotlight. Noah followed half a step behind. As I reached the center of the stage, the entire hall went silent. Every gaze was on my back, focused on the huge, ugly, red tattoo, an insult carved in ink. Gasps from the judges, whispering from the audience. Lucas and Mia froze at the side of the stage. Their smiles stiffened, faces draining of color. Lucas's eyes filled with shock and disbelief. I took the microphone Noah handed me. My fingers trembled slightly, but my voice was steady as stone. Judges, guests, I am Evelyn, the model for Noah's piece. The unfinished, crude tattoo on my back is not Noah's work. I turned slightly, the lights illuminating it fully. This tattoo was maliciously overwritten a week ago, without my knowledge, while I was drugged by my husband Lucas's apprentice, Mia, under the pretense of practice, and my husband, Lucas, not only condoned this abuse, but when I confronted him, he said, "It's just a tattoo. You're overreacting." The room erupted. Cameras instantly turned to Lucas and Mia. Panic etched their faces. Lucas tried to rush forward, but staff stopped him. "Today, I do not stand here as a victim seeking sympathy," I continued, scanning the audience, finally resting my gaze on Lucas, whose face had turned stone. "I stand here as Noah's model, to show true art, how betrayal, harm, and humiliation can be forged into strength and beauty. Now, please witness Noah's work, Rebirth." I handed back the microphone, stepped to the display area, and posed. The ugly scar on my shoulder was fully visible to the world. A moment of silence, then a roar of applause. For Noah, for my courage. Lucas completely lost it, shouting, "She's lying. She's crazy." But his voice was drowned out. The head judge, a lifelong friend of my mother, a venerable artist, took the microphone. "Calm and powerful, please. Unrelated personnel, remain quiet. Let us focus on the art. Today we witness something rooted in life, tempered by soul. The model's experience infuses this piece with irreplaceable narrative depth. This is technical skill and spirit combined. This is true top-level artistry." Other judges echoed high praise for Noah's creativity, technical mastery, and profound grasp of the theme. Lucas and Mia's work was then reviewed. A grandiose but hollow dragon and phoenix motif, technically competent, commercially flavored. Judges were polite but distant, solid technique, traditional composition, appealing to general taste. No more. The contrast was stark. Audience voting followed. Noah's score soared ahead. Lucas and Mia lagged, even receiving negative votes. Noah advanced to the finals, victorious. Lucas barely passed, bottom-ranked. Mia, as his assistant, trailed behind, embarrassed. When the host announced the results, Lucas flung his water cup to the floor. Mia covered her face, seemingly crying. I didn't look at them. In Noah's exhilarated hug, surrounded by cameras and eyes, I stepped down. First strike, success. But I knew it wasn't over. Overnight, the narrative reversed. Videos of my calm, forceful accusation and the ugly tattoo went viral. Public opinion turned sharply against Lucas and Mia. Lucas tried desperately to defend himself in a small media interview, claiming the tattoo was a teaching accident, that I oppressed him mentally, and insinuating improper relations between Noah and me. It was time. I logged into my long and used, verified Investor Evelyn account and posted a detailed statement. No emotional outburst, only facts and evidence. Hidden studio security footage, installed by me for safety. Unbeknownst to Lucas, showing Mia slipping powder into my juice, then maliciously tattooing over my shoulder, while Lucas comforted Mia instead of checking on me. Skin clinic surveillance and staff testimony proving Lucas left me sedated for 9 hours, leaving me abandoned after Mia's phone call. Medical records and police report included bank statements, property deeds, sponsorship contracts showing Lucas's career built on my capital. Recorded phone conversations, Lucas threatening to release private videos, Multiple anonymous reports from former apprentices and clients exposing Lucas's misconduct and Mia's long-term manipulation of other female apprentices. Finally, I wrote, I do not seek sympathy, only justice. The law will judge property and harm. The industry will judge character and professionalism. I have left the shadow behind. Below are the talented, ethical artists I recommend, including Noah. Capital should go where it belongs. The post was like a nuclear bomb, shaking the community. The aftermath unfolded like fast-forwarding through a movie. The divorce was a formality. Lucas was guilty on multiple counts. Evidence irrefutable. The court granted the divorce, awarded all marital property, mostly earned by me, to me, and ordered Lucas to compensate for emotional distress and medical expenses. He walked away almost empty-handed. The Tattoo Artists Association published its findings. Lucas had grossly violated professional ethics and was permanently barred from the industry. Mia was likewise expelled and investigated by police for malicious harm. My life returned to a new kind of calm. I reclaimed the studio property but didn't reopen a tattoo shop. I converted it into a small gallery and creative incubator, dedicated to supporting young artists of talent and integrity, like Noah. In the finals of that international competition, Noah's completed rebirth on my back earned him the championship, propelling him into the spotlight. One day, Noah came to my new office to sign a long-term collaboration contract. After signing, he lingered and asked, Evelyn, it's all behind you now. What are your plans? He looked at me cautiously, with concern, and maybe something more. I smiled and poured him tea. Many plans. Invest in new tech art projects. Travel to Northern Europe. Learn to dive. I paused, meeting his gaze directly. Noah, you're an excellent partner. I hope we can continue to achieve great things together. He blinked, understanding immediately. His eyes dimmed slightly, then brightened with that clarity and freedom unique to artists. He raised his cup, of course, to partners, to new beginnings, to new beginnings. I didn't close my heart, but I held the key firmly in my own hands. Love was no longer survival, it was a gift, not a necessity. And my gift, I wove myself. Later, I heard fragments of news about Lucas and Mia. After leaving the city, they tried to restart in a smaller town, but the scandal had spread. No legitimate studio would take them. Lucas could only take underground jobs at low prices with mixed clientele. Once, poor hygiene caused a severe infection, and he was sued to the brink of bankruptcy. Mia soon left him, rumored to have attached herself to a small-time wealthy but volatile man, also struggling. Journalists somehow tracked me down, seeking a grand finale interview about my ex. I politely declined. I do not comment, pity, or memorialize. I told my assistant, his fate is his own doing, the inevitable consequence of his choices. Reporters pressed, and your shoulder tattoo? Does it still remind you of past pain? I touched my shoulder. Noah's rebirth had healed perfectly. The phoenix and thorns were now part of me, strong and beautiful. It no longer signifies harm, I said calmly. It's part of my history, but history exists to guide me toward a better future. A few days later, I boarded a flight to Norway. I wanted to see the aurora. The plane ascended, breaking through clouds into blinding sunlight. I looked out at the endless blue, remembering the naive bride at my wedding, thinking I had the world's happiness, the desperate, broken me on the cold surgical table, and the resolute me smashing the door open, standing tall under the spotlight. He branded me with shame, and I branded myself with freedom.